Welcome back to the Whatnauts Reactor Core. My name is Kyle Springer, and I am joined by Melissa Wilkinson. Melissa, how are you?
I'm doing fine. How's the middle of your week going, Kyle?
So far, so good. I think I have successfully gotten myself back on a good sleep schedule,
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
excited. So I'm
Good.
stoked
Excited
about
to
that.
sleep.
Yeah, absolutely. But today we are actually here to party because we are talking about Marvel's What If Episode 7, which features Party Thor. Comes down to
Yes.
Earth to just party for all time. It's pretty great.
Always.
There you go. I think the title of this one is What If Thor Was an Only Child?
Yeah.
And I'm an only child, so I don't know what they're trying to say.
I think they're just
I
saying,
feel like
like,
they're trying to start something here, you know?
I don't know. Yeah, I've got two brothers, and I don't party very much either. So who knows? But yeah, it's just what would Thor be like if he didn't have Loki to have conflict against when he was growing up? You know, if he's living this easier life, what sort of adult man is he?
Exactly. And if you want to overthink it, it also probably means he's not related to Hela. So there you go. Something they didn't even mention here in this one.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. See?
Who knows?
Overthinking. Yeah, so this is 7 of 9. We are almost done with this show, and they are kind of steering in the direction that I was hoping they would.
Yes.
The past 2 weeks, I was like, all right, we've gotten scary, we've gotten action, we've gotten like murder mystery, stuff like that. Do something funny. Do something wacky, do something more along those lines. And I won't say it was as wacky as I was hoping, but I think they definitely went to like, let's make this one funny.
Darcy and Howard the Duck got married in Las Vegas, and this still wasn't wacky enough for you?
That is wacky by itself, but that was not the focus of the thing. If this whole thing focused on them, of like, what if Darcy got married to Howard the Duck? Which, by the way, she's credited as Darcy Darcy the Duck in the end of this one. Yeah. So, like, if they had focused on that, that would be wacky, because it's just like, what is this? What is this story?
So you want the initial what if question to be something far sillier?
Yes. Like, I mean, I've mentioned in the past, like, what if they're all chipmunks? And it's just like, what? Why? Why do they need to be? Who cares? It's fucking wacky. Like, they're all chipmunks. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, this I feel like is a story that we all know very well, especially if you've been to like house parties and stuff when you're still in like high school or something. And, you know, that one kid is like, hey, my parents are gone for the weekend, party at my place. And then it's just this big old party that it is a mess because it's high school kids. And then they get the phone call like, hey, we'll be home in 5 minutes. And he's just like, oh no, we're still here. We're still hide the weed, hide the alcohol, you know, right? Like, that's what this one was. It felt like mixed in with all of the MCU stuff. But yeah. Melissa, it sounds like you enjoyed this one. Give me more of your thoughts on this one here.
This might be my favorite. This might beat episode 2 for me. It was just
interesting. Okay.
It was a real riot. I love the party atmosphere. I like how many different characters got to be included in the story.
That was good.
All the way down to like the Grandmaster's right-hand lady Topaz. Topaz is here to party. That was great.
To party and scoot.
Yeah. Still the silly lines like that. Like scoot and Mrs. the Duck and the matching magic and science tattoos. And I love the fact that when we see Earth from above, like France is written across France like it's a big map in a Looney Tune.
It was great. I enjoyed this one a lot.
Just a lot of creative choices that really won me over in this one. I think the show knew that after the last run of a couple episodes where it's been doing, where they have been darker, where or even they're just like an action story with a bit of a body count to it. Like at the end of last episode, I was like, okay, this was interesting. I'd like to have a break from beloved characters dying, please.
Right. Yep.
Can I see somebody live? And this was all living. They lived it up this week. They knew exactly what I needed.
Indeed. They partied hard. It was great. It was great. Yeah, I enjoyed this one a lot. It was a blast to be like, oh, there's the scrolls. Yeah. Oh, there's Topaz.
Yeah.
Oh, there's
me.
Yeah, why is Rocket asleep in the hotel sink? Like, what is happening here?
I love how many additional cameos you get that are just visual cameos. Like, I don't know how Mantis got here. Like, I don't know if this is, does she not live with Ego anymore? Why is she here by herself? What's Mantis' story?
She got the invite or heard there was a party on Earth and was just like, I too would like to party.
This is my one vacation day a year I get from hanging out with Ego and making him go to sleep.
Yeah. I mean, is he in there somewhere? Is he partying back there?
This is true. He can change his form. He could be anything he wants to.
Right? Who knows? But yeah, I had a blast with this one. This one felt the most cartoony to me because of how silly it was, which I liked. I liked that they had that in there mixed with one of the best fights that we've gotten. This was a great like Thor versus Captain Marvel fight with multiple rounds. And it was more than just one punch or like when they did the zombie one, it was like, oh, there goes Hulk versus Scarlet Witch. That looks awesome. Oh, they cut away. Okay. This was a globe trotting fight. And I had a blast with that one. But in that fight too, they still have those scenes where Thor is getting punched and he's like, ugh, 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 and he's making all those faces and sounds and stuff. And you're just like this is such a cartoon. I love it.
It is. And I like that Captain Marvel also got to be like walloped a little bit. Like I appreciated that she was not above being involved in the give and take of a slapstick cartoon fight.
Yeah. It was good stuff indeed. What did you think of the kind of romance that was happening there between Jane Foster and Party Thor?
This was fun. I liked seeing this what if they met under different circumstances, where he immediately presented himself as like, all right, maybe this guy's a threat because he's an alien and we don't know where he's from, but mostly he's just like a charismatic hunk. How do you find him in that situation? And I like that. Yeah, they just they come to an understanding. They go get their magic and science tattoos. I'm happy that the What If series has taken the opportunity to like revisit some romances that have fallen by the wayside. Like Jane's been out of the picture for a long time. You know, even if Christine did not meet with a good end in the Doctor Strange episode, she plays such a minor role in that movie that I was glad to spend the time with her again. Like, well, there's more Christine in any form. I think that's progress.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, the romance was interesting in this one because the one that we saw in Thor 1 was kind of this it was more rom-com like to me, where he is this kind of bumbling oaf that is just like they don't really know what to do with him. Right? Like they don't know. Is he an alien? Is he?
Yeah, we have to dress him
up
in like
on here. Yeah,
an ex's clothes. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just like saying stupid things that they don't understand exactly. Whereas this, I feel like he's a lot more recognizable, right? In both the trope of just like, oh, this is just a guy that likes to party. Like, this is a frat boy at a college party. Like, I know that and I understand that, right? But then, like, she's also more certain that she's like, I'm gonna make first contact with an alien. like she is dead set on that is what he is. She's also like, she's gotten this whole thing about there was this star that she was studying, and then there was this phenomenon, and then after that phenomenon it was gone, and that same phenomenon now happened here on Earth, which we'll circle back around to that. But yeah, she was certain that like he's the cause of this. Like he's the one that destroyed that star.
Mm-hmm.
Which he still kind of could have been. Maybe they did mention that meteorite that crashed, but it's also, we don't really know, was that actually a meteorite? We didn't get to see that happen. But yeah, he is a more like recognizable like thing that I feel like just immediately she's sitting there like, oh, like I kind of like, you're hot, like, hi.
Yeah, she can make first contact and first contact.
First contact. That was good. Yeah, so this whole thing about the star that got destroyed, what did you think about that stuff?
I don't, was I supposed to think something about it? It wasn't a party. Like, we learned that it was, but we don't see it. I think, is that the planet where there was a goat? That was the important part to me. I didn't like attach this to any large. Like, I didn't attach it to any larger piece of MCU mythology. I let my brain just like go out and take a walk.
No, not that this was like, oh, this was a hint at Thor number 142. No, like, it just like they imply that, yeah, there is this phenomenon that happens, and then Thor shows up and parties, and then the same thing happens on Earth, and Shield is like, hey, this party phenomenon is spreading. So
the party phenomenon.
Right, it's
ridiculous. I'm very happy they got Clark Gregg in to say that line. I appreciated that.
Right, it's ridiculous, but it is this thing of like, oh, do they party the planet to death? Like, do they party so hard that people die?
I like that.
They use up all of the resources and stuff like that, and burn it all up. And so that's what they kind of imply, that he's not trying to kill the planet or stuff like that or hurt people. He just parties so hard, and he has this like infectious party spirit that he destroys the planet somehow, that it like explodes.
Yeah, that's what I was picturing, was like the sort of Bacchanalian entropy. Where he parties the planet to death. I think about that like vision Scarlet Witch puts in his head in Age of Ultron, where he sees this like real dark, sultry party, where like the party itself isn't dark, but there's that underlying threat of how destructive that could be. Yeah, how much of a distraction it could be. Yeah, I imagine it's just an extended period of that, but like goofier.
Yeah. But I that is what I thought the thing was gonna be, is that like, what if Thor partied too hard that he destroyed the Earth or something like that?
I would have been down to see that too, you know, especially as a counterpoint to like Doctor Strange breaking a world a couple episodes ago, just through like this obsessive mission. You know,
what if this beer pong that breaks the world?
Right. Beer pong too hard. I did like seeing them just fooling around with different landmarks, including my own arch, turning the arch into a slingshot. I gotta say, I really have to hand it to this show. At the end of the episode where they put it back, where he's like, oh no, mom's coming. I have to restore Earth. Like, they show the arch back where it's supposed to be, in front of the actual St. Louis skyline. Like, I have seen other cartoons and things reference the arch and they just stick it in front of a bunch of generic rectangles like nobody else knows a single other structure that's in St. Louis. And admittedly, many people probably don't. But to me, like there's the old courthouse, there's all these towers that I know. Props to What If for putting my own skyline in front of my eyes. Thank you.
What if they actually got St. Louis right? They did.
They have. Thank you.
We put a lot of hard work into the shows that we make, and yes, we make multiple different shows here at the Whatnauts, and we'd love it if you would check them all out. You can find out more information on our website at thewhatnauts.com, as well as your favorite podcasting platform of choice. When you type in the Whatnauts, all of our shows will pop up right there. Just don't forget to give us a nice rating and review if you like the shows. If you want to support what we do here at The Whatnauts, patreon.com/The Whatnauts is the best place to do that. You can support us for as little as $1 a month. You can get all kinds of exclusive content at the $3 tier. You can also get a shout out and thank you on all of our shows at the $5 tier. You can support us on Twitch by subscribing to our channel at twitch.tv/The Whatnauts, and we would love to have you all join us for our live streams and talk with us in the chat. And lastly, we have merch. If you want to grab yourself a shirt or a sweatshirt or a mug or something else, go to thewhatnauts.com/store to pick up some merch today. But instead of that being the case, and instead of Thor partying so hard that he destroys the world, it seems like maybe the world that he last partied on was doomed anyways. Like they knew it was going to die, and so maybe it was a going away party. Maybe it was this like farewell party or something like that.
Man. We got to send him to Lamentus then. You know, like if Lamentus is doomed, right? At least let Thor party the end of the,
an end of the world party, a doomsday party.
Right. Like Loki and Sylvie go to like a neon part of town, on that planet. Right, yeah. Thor can have lots of fun there. Yeah.
Exactly. Speaking of Loki, what did you think of Ice Giant Loki?
I loved it. I loved it so much. First of all, I like that we've seen throughout What If that when there is a break from the universe as we know it, there is a sense of give and take there where something's missing, but you do also appreciate another something that was restored. Like last week, Black Panther T'Challa is killed very early in that episode, but it's a world where King T'Chaka still continues to live. And I'm like, well, that's nice that we get true, that at least. And we get here a world where Odin takes little baby Loki back to the ice giants, so Thor didn't grow up with his brother. But then there's a shot of him of the big ice giant king, like getting his baby back, and he looks so happy. Like, oh, good for you. I'm sorry you don't get this in other universes, but it's nice that I got to see the one time this happened here.
Laufey is finally happy that he has his son back.
And I do love that instead of being brothers who grew up super argumentative with each other, now that Thor and Loki have like no relation at all, they become friends who look at each other like brothers.
Brother from another mother. So good.
This is one of my favorite things I've seen in What If so far. This is like the kind of stuff I was coming to the show for. Well, I'd come to it for anything, to be honest, but like, if we change something, how is the relationship between these two characters different? Like, what is that AU? And I like to see this one. This was very sweet, very touching.
This was a good one indeed. Yeah. So Jane Foster ends up being like, hey, we have to save the Earth because they are partying a little bit too hard. And she gets the bright idea to tell his mom, be like, if you're Thor and you're Loki, that means there's an Odin and a Frigga. We need to talk to Frigga, which means there's also a Heimdall. That would probably be our way up there. So let's talk to Heimdall. They do. She finds her way to Frigga, and she's just like, yeah, your son is getting a little bit on the sauce, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And she comes down, is like, I hope you're not partying. And he's just like, no, Mom, I am studying with my study group here on Earth. That's what they call it. I didn't know. Yeah, Earth.
They're all sitting on the floor while he's at like a chalkboard. Like they're all having like rug time while teacher reads to them. That's great.
Yeah. So they have that whole sequence of them like trying to put the arches back and fixing the Statue of Liberty after Surtur was like hitting on the Statue of Liberty.
Excellent use of Surtur, a character I never thought about seeing again.
Right, yeah. And he's like cleaning off graffiti. He's just completely scared of his mom, of just like, I'm in so much trouble. This is not good. I'm never going to be king if she finds out. And yeah, when she finally gets there, they've managed to clean it up enough where it looks like, yeah, he's having this study group. And it's just the like cutest like scene of him being like, yes, and so that is Earth history. And they're just like, oh, okay, I get it now. And he has a whole bunch of like formulas and math and stuff on the chalkboards. But yeah, it's really funny that he's the one teaching them, and he's teaching like scrolls and Asgardians and all sorts of people. It's not just like the warriors three that are there. It's a whole bunch of them.
Large class size.
Good old Captain Marvel shows up and is like, hey, I've made you an iPad full of stuff that you can actually learn some things on. So here you go. Yeah, it like that moment to me kind of felt in a weird way like the most Disney of the stuff that we've gotten so far.
Sure.
Like I can see a Disney movie being themed kind of around this scenario, right? Where there is some kind of big party and then the parents come home too soon and they have to clean it up. Of course, the Disney movie would probably have some greater lesson learned and some kind of thing with that, which this doesn't really go into that all that much there. But this felt like, okay, this is a Disney cartoon. Like I can see the fingerprints of Disney here on this one.
This episode as a whole, even though it is it's got innuendos there, it's got plenty of booze, you know, but it reminded me
There's
of
some
like
bras just kind of laying around in hotel rooms and stuff like that.
It reminded me of like a Nickelodeon movie or something. Like this, like this feels like a child not a child, but like I like that this is a youth mischief movie.
Yeah.
Not quite as raucous as like a college party movie, but a bit more than like Big Fat Liar.
They hint that maybe some of that stuff is going on every now and then, but not enough to like show it or really focus on it. So, because I mean,
there's
like we mentioned, there's like underwear kind of laying around here and there. So someone was getting naked. We don't know who exactly, but someone was.
There's unending beers, mild underwear, and but also just like a lot of dancing, you know.
Yeah. And probably some death with the big Ferris wheel thing that they spun off and just like, oh well.
Yeah, I did like that. I did like this tour of landmarks.
Wild mischief. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Thor going to like slide down the Sydney Opera House.
Yeah.
And he just gets pulled out of the sky before he can do that.
Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, I had a blast. I still don't know if we're gonna get it now in season 1 here, but I still want them at least in season 2 with fingers crossed they will confirm season 2. But I still want them to just do something just completely nuts Like just do something that's just so stupid that everyone has to watch it because it's just so dumb. Like more of Howard the Duck marrying Darcy. Like what is a day in the life of that? Who like they got married by Elvis in Elvis impersonator in Vegas.
Always
like
always good to see an Elvis impersonator. Never gets old for me.
Yeah. Yeah,
I hope we never reach a point in time where we don't have them. Yeah, I hope like an Elvis impersonator is a stock character type that continues for centuries.
What if the Elvis impersonator joined the Avengers?
Yeah.
Do it. Let me see it. Why not? It's stupid. It's great. Like that's the kind of wackiness that I want to see. Like I just give me all of the just nuts, stupid stuff. Make it banana pants, crazy time, banana pants.
I want to see like the tiniest difference that can be spun out into an entire what if universe. Like the littlest, the insignificant change. Like there's a box of donuts in Avengers HQ.
You went for by 1 inch.
Right, like, this time you got the Long John instead of the Cruller. And this is the cosmic war that erupts out of that.
Right, yes. Yeah, or just like the box of donuts happened to be in the right spot that they hit it and it like flew up and hit someone in the face. And that's how they got distracted because they had like a Boston cream.
That's how Nick Fury lost his eye.
Right,
his eye. He's not supposed to get pudding in it.
But like that is how like somehow that's how they defeat Ultron before he gets to Sokovia, right? And then they just like I don't know. Yeah, but I'm expecting these final two to get more into the bigger bombastic action because I think we get a really interesting reaction from the Watcher here in the final moments of this one where he's like, all right, and that's it. Party over. We're going home. Mom and Dad are here. And then he's just like, oh, wait, shit. What is happening now? And here comes Ultron with all of the Infinity Stones. And he's just like, oh, this isn't good.
But then his head pops open. And it's not an Ultron, it's a Vision in an Ultron suit.
Which it is what Vision was supposed to be. He was supposed to be the next version of Ultron, so it is still just in Ultron. But it's an interesting one because we don't know exactly how Infinity Stones from another universe react in other universes. I think that the interesting thing to me is that the Watcher didn't know that this was going to happen. It should be said that he is not all knowing, right? But I think this really hammers it home that if he's watching one universe, other things can be happening over somewhere else that he might not know about. And I think that's kind of what's happening. And he has this reaction that's just like, this isn't good, which is the first time that he's commented on his own thoughts of the direction of the
he shares a feeling. He's not just like, hey guys, look at this, check it out.
I mean, he might be like, isn't this sad? Look at this sad tale. But then, this is like a genuine in the moment reaction. I'm just like, oh, not good. I think very, very soon we will see him intervene somehow, some way. I still don't know what that will be, but I'm excited
to learn if he's, when he interacts with people, is he always going to be that big? Can he be like normal man sized? That's my question.
Yeah, who knows?
Can he just stand among the Avengers at like the size a real Jeffrey Wright is? Who knows?
I mean,
he always big.
We have seen live action Watchers in one of the end credit scenes of the Guardians.
So they're just kind of tall.
Yeah, they seem like 6.5, 7 feet tall, something like that. But
I like
not
that.
much bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, like taller than a basketball player, shorter than a Snoke. Like that height's good.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. I'm excited though because we got 2 more left, and I think they are going to be very, very interesting to see what they do with these ones. So hopefully we get to see some return characters. That'd be good. That'd be fun. Be fun indeed. But I think that about wraps us up for this one. So Melissa, where can the people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Wilkywit. That's WILKYWIT. And listen to my other podcast, Saturday Morning Obscurities.
There you go. You guys can find me on Twitter at YoKyleSpringer. And if you guys want to stay up to date with all of the stuff that we do here at the Whatnauts, we are at the Whatnauts on Twitter. So go like, share, subscribe. You guys know the deal with all of that. We would like to give a big shout out to all of our Patreon supporters, especially the ones at the $5 tier and above. So thank you to Sam. We love you a lot. We appreciate you. Thanks for keeping the mics on. It means a lot. But with that, that wraps up this Whatnauts Reactor Core. We will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.